but the Father grants him his wish and gives it to him. Now, I have to ask for us, I have to ask the question, because a lot of us teachers, and those are former teachers who dealt with it for years, we see that there's a generation growing up who have been, that have been handed things that they are not ready for. And these children are being thrust into situations that they should not have to deal with. Children are raising children. Children are having to take care of younger siblings because, the economy is bad and parents are having to work 2 and 3 different jobs. And then sometimes it's just that they are at home with some parents who are able to do something, but the parents are out doing whatever with whoever, how, and whenever. And I forgot the person who made this quote, but he says that when there is darkness, crimes will be committed. But the sin is not really those who commit the crimes, but those who created the darkness. So I have to ask the question, are we doing everything possible to make sure that our children are being prepared so when they leave the house, we don't have to worry about them running away? Are we preparing our children, we kind of want to we stress out when they act out and they act crazy and they act the fool when they come to school. It's not because they just merely are crazy or they want to act the fool. It's because they have not been properly prepared to leave the house. Amen. And so that begs the question, are we doing everything possible to make sure, we want to stress, and wonder, since they act the fool and they leave, we want to worry about, will they come back home? The question is, have we prepared them to leave home in the first place? If you look at Judges chapter 2, it talks about, I believe around verse 10, it tells the story about what happened after the Joshua generation died. It says that Joshua died and all the elders and those who grew up with Joshua had died off. And then it said there grew up a generation who knew not the Lord, nor did they know anything that the Lord had did for them. Why? Because it's not their fault that they didn't know anything about the Lord. They just children. It was the adults who came before them who kept their mouth closed and did not share with them the gospel of what God had done for them. So before we can just outright blame children for the things that they do or that they don't do, we have to examine ourselves as leaders in our community to make sure that we are doing everything possible to prepare our children for what is to come. So we can insert Jesus back into his fatherly role, and we meet this young man as he is traveling to his home land of Oz, as he is traveling to this foreign country. And on his way, he obviously meets some smiling faces and some sticky fingers. Because by the time he gets there, this young man loses everything that he has. I mean everything. Not only did he lose his father's estate, which in other words, the portion that he was given, which in other words, his father had to sell part of his land to give his son some money. His son blew that. So in other words, he is costing his father some business. And I pray to God that we as a church are not costing our father any business. But as we go on, he not only loses that, but he loses everything that he had, because he took everything that he owned at his father's house because he had no intentions on coming back home. Right. So not only did he lose what his father gave him, but he also lost that which actually belonged to him. Mm-hmm. And so the son, he was ambitious, and that's fine. He was real ambitious. He was eager. He wanted to make something of himself. Perfectly fine, but I have to tell you and warn you that ambition without guidance is a disaster waiting to happen. Yes, you can have goals. Yes, you can have aspirations, but even aspirations could lead you into destruction if they are not guided and properly taught and properly kept. So this young man finds himself not only homeless, now he finds himself half naked and with no money. Right. He's broke. Mm-hmm. He's beat down. Mm-hmm. He has nothing. Right. But that's not even the worst part. Mm-hmm. Jonathan, he wanted to be free so bad that in the process he ended up enslaving himself.